Hey everybody, happy Friday! I'm a little late for my show today. Instead of 2:15 p.m. Eastern, when I usually go live, we are going live at 3 o'clock Eastern because I had a very lovely excursion with my team today. Um, we are all here together in New York, which is so exciting to plan our retreat for May. And we have the most gorgeous mansion on the planet in Massachusetts that we are so excited. It is basically on the top of a mountain. The views are absolutely gorgeous, and we're just so excited. So today we got to play with some crystals, which was really fun. And if you want to just scrap what we're talking about today and look at crystals, just let me know. Um, but anyway, I wanted to welcome you here to Cosmic TV, especially if you have never been here before. If you have been here before, welcome back. And if you have not, welcome, welcome. Please say hello in the comments so that I can get to know you, know where you're from. This is definitely a community here. It's like a spiritual and metaphysical Netflix. So Cosmic TV is really where you're going to find other shows like this, courses, films by conscious filmmakers, pretty much anything that you can imagine for your spiritual and metaphysical journey. Okay. And my name's Laura Mazzotta, and I am an Akashic healer, an alchemist, a Reiki master, and a therapist for 20 years. And it's really my mission to assist people with healing as deeply and profoundly as possible. And I find that the most effective and efficient way to do that is in the space of the Akashic Records. So every Friday I go live here and I share wisdom from the Akash that's coming forward to help us on our path with moving forward. So hi Layla, hi Sherry, good to see you. Thanks so much for saying hello too. I appreciate it. So, what do you guys want to do today? You want to talk about polarity and duality, or you want to look at my crystals? We'll do both. I'll just kind of flash them every once in a while, and you guys can see the crystals that I got today. But honestly, I'm tired. Can you tell? I'm tired because there's like so much energy in this place, and it was amazing. I mean, I just wanted to stay there and just hang out. I was sitting in an amethyst chair. I just actually did a post on it and shared it to my story. But man, I mean, I'm just like all the energy moving through my system. I'm just integrating it all. It's all super yummy, but I'm just feeling like very zen right now. So anyway, I hope you're all having a nice Friday. And how many of you have a long weekend this weekend? Those of you in the US who are celebrating Columbus Day on Monday. We have a 3-day weekend here. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be beautiful. We're going to go apple picking. Super, super fun. So polarity and duality. Does anybody know the difference between the two of these? Because there is a difference, and unfortunately, a lot of people use these words. Hi, Leah. Welcome from Australia. I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you for sharing. So appreciative. Oh, Sherry, can you still hear me, honey? Is anybody else having trouble hearing me or seeing me? It looks like it's working. Just let me know. Okay. I'm going to keep going, and then if it's a problem, well, we'll take care of it later. Okay, it's Mercury retrograde, so anything can happen, my friends. You just learn to roll with it in these times. So polarity is really about experiencing the polar opposite. Okay, great. Thank you, Sherry. Polarity is really about experiencing things on a spectrum, right? So we have things at this extreme, we have things at that extreme. And we need to realize that in this life, everything exists on a spectrum. Everything in the universe exists on a spectrum. Duality is, I think, much more limiting, because I understand why people refer to it that way, because duality is us being able to realize that we are dual, right? We are spiritual and we are human. I honestly think we're much more than that. There's so many layers. Oh, to get the crystals. Okay, got it. Where'd I go to get the crystals? See, Laura Mazzotta is like in a trance, in a totally different reality, because I've been like amplified by stones for the last however many hours. I'm like in my metaphysical zone right now. I went to the Crystal Church. It's in Wurtsboro, New York. It's amazing. Huge. They have everything there. Everything from like giant stones to the little ones. So anyway, it was magical. But anyway, so duality, I think, is a limiting term. I really do, because it's like we're much more than just human and spiritual as well. Oh, thanks, Cassidy. Yeah, I just tagged them too, so that if you guys go to my post, you can also just click on it and shoot right over to it and check it out. They sell online too, so lovely. And their prices are amazing. So, so anyway, so yeah, I just think that duality is limiting because just like people say that it is destructive for us to have two primary political parties in the US, right? Very similarly, it's like, well, we're not just human or spiritual. There's so many layers involved in who we are, right? Energetic, emotional, mental, physical, spiritual, and beyond. Okay, so duality is not a word I really like to use because it's so funny. Duality feels to me like it's polarizing. Like it feels like it's highlighting that there's a disparity between two things rather than appreciating the fact that everything exists on a spectrum. And so I love this because we are just coming off of new moon energy in Libra. And new moon in Libra is all about obviously new beginnings and fresh starts, but finding harmony and balance within those polarizing parts of ourselves, right? I like to think about things as polarity because, yes, we signed up as souls to be human beings, to experience this lifetime in all of its splendor, which includes the extremes, right? And we may feel like we're on a roller coaster. That's part of being human, and that's okay. We want to honor that. We want to appreciate it. We want to enfold it into our experience and into part of our wholeness, right? Like appreciate it. And so I don't like to think of duality because that makes us feel like we're separated, and nothing is separated. We are all connected to one another. We're all connected to all of those layers of ourselves at all times. And it's really important for us to say, okay, so when I'm looking at the new moon in Libra and we're talking about this concept of finding harmony and balance between these parts of ourselves and within our relationships, it's important to look at this from a couple different perspectives. One is, okay, so in my relationships, do I have harmony? And not just within, oh, do we get along? That's not what I'm talking about. That's a very human construct. I'm talking about especially those people who tend to fall into people-pleasing tendencies or codependency. What can happen is that you can have harmony with your relationships, but that's because you're just people-pleasing. You're taking care of everyone. You don't have a harmony or a balance between serving other people, giving to your relationships, and giving to yourselves. So it's important to find harmony in that at the tail end of this new moon energy. And to realize, okay, when I experience something that I consider polarity, usually people highlight this and point it out when they're experiencing something they don't desire. For me, I actually experience polarity more when I'm really, really pumped about something. I just wrote a post on this the other day. It can frustrate me sometimes because I get so excited and passionate about things. And I also know that that's out of alignment. Even though it feels good, it's not in alignment. And if I stay in that place for too long of a time, I'm going to burn out. Okay? So it's important to say, what are those things that make me more aware that I'm in a space of polarity? It could be excitement, it could be fear, it could be anger, right? Identify what are those things that brings that into your awareness. And how can you bring those back into greater harmony? You know, for me, it's pretty simple. I get myself into this excited state and I'm all pumped up. I'm like, okay, I need to ground myself. I need to ground in my breath. I need to ground in my physical body. I need to ground on Mother Earth. These are things that I need to do for myself so that I know that I'm back into alignment. I have the stillness and the safety to be able to tune into my heart space, to be able to tune into my soul, and identify what's in my highest good in that moment. And so it takes a really big person to be able to say, oh, I'm super excited about something, but I'm actually going to pause this. I'm going to pause this. Because most humans are going to say, oh, I'm going to take that and run with it. I'm excited. Don't get in my way. Don't interrupt my momentum. Well, actually, your momentum might end up fizzling out if you get too excited. right? So it's just being able to love yourself into that alignment. Don't criticize yourself for being excited and passionate. That's a good thing, right? But we also want to be able to have sustained energy going forward, especially when we're planting intentions on a new moon, because we want to be able to bring it into fruition. Okay, so that's the first piece of polarity. And the other piece is, like I said, finding those areas within your relationships where you may be giving to other people more than you're giving to yourself. You might even have a pretty good balance in that, at which point I would ask you, which one do you do first? Like if somebody comes up and asks you for help with something, or if they ask you for this, that, or the other, do you just automatically say, yes, absolutely, oh my gosh? Whether it's at my expense or not, it doesn't matter, I'll give you anything. That's how I used to be. I still have elements of that within me, for sure. And I catch myself. I hold myself accountable for those things, right? Because it feels good. It feels good to help other people. But it's most important for me to love myself first and to tune into myself first and say, okay, yes, I would absolutely love to assist you. Let me just check in with my energetic reserves. Let me check in with where I am and who I am. Ensure that this is in alignment with my highest good and your highest good, because I don't want to help you if that's going to disempower you. Right, Sherry? Sometimes you jump in. So do I. Somebody says they want help with something, or somebody is sharing something with you that's bothering them, and you're just like, oh, okay, I'm all over that. I got this. I have the solution. Well, first of all, did they ask for the solution? Right? And second of all, your energy is immensely valuable. So when these things come up and somebody asks us for help, or a situation calls for our attention or our awareness, and we tune in and we say, it's not really there for me, then what happens? Like you're like, oh, I'm not going to follow through on that. Then what happens? You feel guilty. Or you feel flippant, and then you question yourself because you're like, why do I not care? That must make me a bad person. And you start questioning yourself. These are all the concepts of polarity that can present in our lives. And that's the reason we jump in a lot of the time, right? Is because we don't want to feel that guilt or that discomfort from saying, no, I don't really have the energy for that today. I'm not really up for that today. Right? And that's okay. And so it's important for you to, again, we're talking about maintenance here. We're talking about long-term vitality. Okay, the more you make these choices for yourself, the longer term you're going to be able to serve not only your own needs, but everybody else's. And you're going to be able to extend it further and further beyond that, right? So when these things come up and then you feel guilty or you feel doubtful or people challenge you on it, what? You're always available for me. What? Right? Realize that that's a mirror for an area within you that needs to be healed, that you're not completely confident or settled in. And this is the part of polarity that a lot of people shy away from. They just want to serve the person's needs and move on. Well, great, that's a good Band-Aid approach, but that's not going to get you somewhere long-term, right? Long-term, we want to be able to say like, okay, this is coming up and now I feel guilty, or this person's challenging me. Like, who are they to say that to me, right? And that polarity shows up for you. But remember, what is polarity? It's something that exists on a spectrum, right? It's a spectrum of energy. And so if this is coming up here and they're getting all pissy with you, guess what? It's simply on another part of the spectrum where you already exist. All you got to do is slide back and forth. So it doesn't mean that you reject them or you get pissed at them or you dismiss them or you set this really firm boundary, you don't talk to them. None of that is accurate. You need to realize that whatever they're presenting exists on the same spectrum as you are currently vibrating and operating. So it's not like, oh, I'm going to judge them or something's wrong with them. Instead, it's like, ooh, this is cool. This is highlighting my awareness of where I exist on this spectrum. Where on the spectrum do I exist at that same level of vibration in my life? Do I get pissy like that when I'm at the store? Do I get pissy like that with my mother? Do I get pissy like that with my sister? Do I get pissy like that at work? And start to think about how that same reaction presents within you, and allow yourself to slide back and forth on this spectrum to be able to bring yourself back into alignment. And alignment might not necessarily be right in the center. Okay, in fact, that's usually very unrealistic. Being a therapist for 20 years, I'm like, how many couples I worked with? I'm like, dude, it's not like 50-50 is a total falsehood in relationships. Like, don't sit here and say, well, he's doing this and she's doing that, or she's doing this and she's doing that. We need to get back into even. No, the goal is not even. Balance and harmony does not mean, whether we're talking about polarity, whether we're talking about relationships, anything, it does not mean 50-50. Okay? It means that both of you are operating in your highest good. And that might mean that you contribute 60% of the tasks, and this other person in your life contributes 40%, and vice versa. And that flip-flop's going to happen all the time. But it's important to understand that it doesn't matter. The numbers don't matter. Where you are on this spectrum doesn't matter. The fact is you just exist, right? You just exist on the spectrum. And as long as you both exist on it, there's information for both of you as you navigate this plane. Does that make sense? Hi, Abby. Hi, Donna. Thanks for saying hi, guys. How are you guys on this Friday? I hope you're fabulous. So does that make sense? Because polarity and duality can be a little bit of a complex topic. You can get pretty deep into this kind of concept, but it was important for me to bring it up today because of the heels of this new moon in Libra energy, because it's really important for us to explore these kinds of concepts for ourselves during these cosmic events, because we have the opportunity to ride the energy of the moon, of the universe, so that it's more easeful for us, right? We get to move through it with greater grace. So what are we asking ourselves? We're asking ourselves to review here. We're asking ourselves, okay, where am I giving to others before I give to myself? Or where am I giving to others more than I'm giving to myself? Making sure you're honoring those needs within. Being able to not polarize things by seeing things as I'm a human or I'm a spirit, right? You're both. In fact, you're many layers in between as well. So being able to see your wholeness as that whole spectrum. Being able to recognize whatever polarity shows up in your life, meaning something that is at a different level on the spectrum than you, as information and as awareness and as a cue to tune in and say, interesting, okay, where do I exist on this spectrum? In this situation, maybe I'm chilling, I'm good. But that doesn't mean you're there in every aspect of your life. And again, the goal here is not perfection. The goal here is not to be, the enlightened monk sitting on the top of the mountain for the next 20 years. Okay? It's just that if you're on this path and you're continuing to heal, it's very important to continue to heighten your awareness rather than placing blame on other people or situations that truly are just reflecting back to you areas that you can shine even more brightly than you already do. And why wouldn't we take advantage of that opportunity? So let me know if you guys have any other questions around polarity and duality, or if you feel that things are showing up in your life that are concerning to you, right? Around polarity and duality. And that'd be a good question to ask yourself just basically, which is, do I see myself as either or, a human or a spirit? It's a huge one. And I'll tell you, this is where spiritual bypassing comes in, 800%. People love hanging out in the spiritual world. They love hanging out in the universe, in the cosmos. But a lot of times it's because they want to escape. They want to escape their human. And they're not necessarily looking at their shadow and these things that activate us on earth, right? Hi, Ashley. Happy Friday, honey. So it's just an awareness. And I would love for you to start implementing simply one step before you just dive in to help somebody as soon as they ask, and just tuning into your own field. identifying what your capacity to hold this energy and extend this energy feels like and is going to feel like if you follow through with it. Okay? Be gentle with yourself and realize that even though you might be really emotionally excited about helping somebody and it feels really good and you just want to dive into, oh, it feels good, remember to check in with your physical body. Remember to check in with your spirit. Remember to check in with your energy. All of the layers are necessary to inform us. And that is exactly why being human is so freaking cool. Because we get to tap into all those layers. I love you, Sherry. You're amazing. You want to see my new crystals? Okay. So I got zeolite. I got 2 zeolites. These are these are for like ridding the body of toxins and cleansing and healing faster. These are my favorites. Like, those are the ones I'm the most excited about. They literally just sucked me right in. This is a red amethyst. This one's really cool. It's like super textured at the bottom. Really cool. I have so much amethyst, but I'm like, oh, but I don't have a red amethyst. This one's just like great. And it's like stays in your hand so beautifully. What else did I got? I got these bracelets. I got smoky quartz and citrine, jetstone, peach moonstone, garnet, ocean jasper, and tiger's eye. By the way, I was really well behaved this time. So if you think that this is a lot, this is me well behaved. Okay, so this is jasper, polychrome jasper. I'm obsessed with polychrome jasper. Then we have blue aragonite. I know, I hadn't seen the red amethyst either. See, you guys? See, I told you it was magical. Both of you guys like that. This is Caribbean calcite. This one just feels so yummy. This one's really soothing. Oh, I got a witch stone. So I'm excited to play with the witch stone. Woo! Every time I touch it, I get chills all the way up and down my spine. Hence the purchase. I got an angelite. It's a nice angelite. Nice big one. Love that one. I think that was my biggest purchase from today. What else did I get? I didn't bust out all of them yet. I don't even remember what this is. Oh, you find those in Michigan, Abby? Mail me one. Witch stone is for being witchy, to access your inner witch. Oh, I've been wanting one of these so badly. I've been looking for them online. It's a rose quartz gua sha. Does anybody use gua shas? It's a facial gua sha. So like massage with oils. It's so yummy. My massage therapist actually uses this to break up the knots that are in my back or in my shoulders. You call them holy rocks. They are holy. I love that. Yeah, so the gua sha really breaks up any muscles that are super, super tight or like really crunchy, you know? And man, do we hold so much tension in our face, in our jaw, in our face. I definitely hold tension in this area. I don't even notice it until I start to use this and I'm just like, whoa. So these are amazing. I actually like these better than the rollers. I have a couple rollers and I love them. And that's like more soothing and comforting, and it definitely increases like circulation and lymphatic drainage. But these gua shas really get in to breaking up the muscle. So yummy. So yeah, so that's my rose quartz gua sha that I got. I'm so excited about that. And then, oh, I think I got a couple other little things. And then I'll be done. Then I'll be finished. I just got this tiger's eye because it was an amazing price. It was like $5 and it fits great in my hand. And I just have a tiny little Merkaba tiger's eye, so I just needed another one. Oh, stromatolite. This one like totally sucked me in. Really grounding. I don't know if you guys can see all of the little swirls and spirals in them, but I love that one. And then this is the shell fossil druzy. I love this too. I don't know if you guys can see the sparkles, but that one's really pretty too. Oh, and this one, oh man, I love this one too. This one I'm pretty excited about. These are pricey though, so I just got a little one. Again, I was good today. I was very well behaved. This is an astrophyllite, or strophylite, something like that. Tag's still on it because that's how new they are. Look how sparkly. This is a super high vibration stone. And no, I did not know all of this off the top of my head. I had Daisy with me, and Daisy's like the crystal queen, so she helped me. They do. They just call to me, Sherry. It's not my fault. They just want to come home with me. I don't know what to tell you. So anyway, I have a couple of really exciting things to share with you guys. One is that I have a workshop coming up for only $22, $22.22. It's called Venus Rising. So when we're talking about polarity existing on the spectrum, right, and kind of sliding back and forth, being able to find our momentum within that at the same time that we're safely grounded and being able to really harness our own energy and cultivate it in a space when we're also experiencing all this crap around us, right? The best thing to work with around that and with that is sexual energy. And that's what we're going to be doing in Venus Rising. We're going to be we're obviously going to be securing safety first, but we're going to be activating our sexual energies. Sexual energy is not about sex. Yes, it can be, but it's really about passion and creativity and flow and momentum and really getting ourselves into a space where we know how to harness that like that, right? To not make excuses anymore for like why we're choosing not to activate it, why we're choosing not to be part of it. Look at this like red mark on my neck from using the gua sha. Look, I have like marks on my face, which is totally fine. I'm fine with it. But anyway, I didn't buy the chair, Sherry, but the chair was like, well, actually, I don't even know how much the chair was, but there was a citrine, what was it? It was a citrine like wishing booth or something in the center. And we wrote down our intentions and chucked them in there. And they burn them all at the end of the year, which is just really cool to enter into 2022. And that citrine geode that was in the center was like, I think like $365,000 or something. You can buy like 2 houses for that. It's crazy. But anyway, so I really encourage you guys to sign up for this. It's seriously, it would be so silly for you not to. It's a 90-minute Zoom workshop in the Akashic Records for $22.22. Like, we're going to be clearing the shame around sexual energy, the limiting beliefs, the stuff in your lineage. You talk about any blocks or resistance that come up physically or emotionally for you with this. We're going to be addressing those things face to face, and we're going to be clearing, but also activating that sexual energy that's really dormant within you that maybe you haven't accessed in a while, or accessed in an area of your life that you really do desire and need momentum. So that link, yeah, Abby, oh my gosh, you would love this so much. The link, Cassidy just put the link in the comments so you guys can grab that. And the other thing is that we just booked the location for our retreat, you guys. So we were supposed to have our retreat this weekend. And unfortunately, there were a lot of construction issues that came up with the location that we had booked. A lot of construction issues. And so we went out to check in with it, and it was just not even... Unfortunately, it was just, I wanted this to be luxurious. I want this to be an opportunity for people where they're like, yes, I get to go away. I get to be away from like all distractions and like just feel held and pampered. Like, that's how I want people to feel, right? Like, you want to feel so yummy and amazing on a spiritual retreat. So anyway, so we found this amazing mansion in Massachusetts. So it's in driving distance from New York for those of you who are around here, and you can also fly into Albany. It's going to be from May 20th to May 24th, 2022. And I'm so excited because I have a beautiful home, a large, beautiful home. And I came back and I was like, oh God, this place sucks. It's like, compared to there. And guess who owned it and renovated it? Christopher Reeve. So, I mean, that's, again, no brainer. Like, who doesn't want to be Superman and be part of Superman's energy? I'm so excited. So stay tuned for that. There's a link in the comments. You can read all about it. And you can it's an application only. We have less spots available for this one because this place was so magical. And even though there weren't as many beds as the other place, we were like, it doesn't matter. This place is such magic. There are virtual tickets available too. So you guys can read about it. And since it's not until May, you have lots of time. You have time to either to plan, to take off work, to save, to start with a payment plan, whatever feels good for you. But it just feels so relaxed to be able to be like, yeah, this feels so aligned for me, and I'm ready for this level of community and connection and like a deep dive. I mean, really a deep dive. And God knows there's going to be a fire pit every night because I'm going to be there, and I'm obsessed with fire pits and chanting and meditating around fire pits. But we're going to be doing some really deep healing. The whole itinerary is on our website. So at the link that Cassidy posted. So you guys can check in the comments and just read about it. And it's application only, but we're going to be very selective about who is there in person with us because we don't have as many beds. So I would really love for you guys to jump on that as soon as possible because it's already over half full. And I just love you guys. And I'm so excited to be in person, hugging people, and it just feels, the energy feels so much more palpable when you're in person with people. I love that we have the internet, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity to connect virtually with people, but it's a whole nother level for sure when you do this. You can feel it more palpably in your human when you do this healing in person. So anyway, I love you. I hope you have a beautiful weekend. I will see you next Friday at 2:15 p.m. Eastern Time here on Cosmic TV. You can jump over into Room for Healing if you haven't yet. That's my private Facebook group. That's a loving, lovely community of people, all committed to the healing journey. And you can get tips and tricks and all sorts of courses and master classes that are in the guide section. So check it out, and I will see you next week. Bye.